Howdy, 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 and welcome, friends, gamers, city planners, and other enthusiasts to the next episode of City Skylines II, where we're making the city of our dreams, the inner sphere map of 3025, with all the lore of 3025 and before, in this regional map using the vanilla assets of City Skylines II. This is, of course, your host, BoydofZINJ. And this is now episode 5. Wow, how time flies. In this episode, or let's go back. In the previous episode, we are doing Marik. We are planning on eventually moving on and starting another subdivision region and be House Steiner. But for right now, we're doing Marik. House Steiner will be somewhere over here. Now remember, nothing is, set to stone until we actually do it. Before we move any further, I also did make one quick audible, and there's one other thing we need to do. I created this chicken factory. Why did I create the chicken factory? Demand. City policies are going. Production. Here we go. So, wood, we have a surplus of wood. So, none of our industries are buying wood. Grain, we have a surplus of grain. We now have a surplus of chickens. Previously, we didn't, but I just purchased that. And we have a tiny surplus of vegetables. But, of course, right now we have trouble. We need more vegetable areas. It requires... The chickens don't require any specific zone. We need to unlock something that has more fertile land for vegetables. But we're still making a profit, and even if you make a small deficit, that's fine. We're also making a profit in coal and stone. So, and that's all we could purchase. If you remember, right now, this is all the specialized economy we can do. We don't have access to ore. We don't have access to oil yet. The next thing we're going to do is, if you notice all these areas, is we need to make a district for this. We already did. The Marik Commonwealth. The Marik Commonwealth is the area in the Free Rogues League that has both the planet Marik as well as the planet Atreus. I believe it's pronounced Atreus. Atreus is the capital planet. You would figure Marik would be the capital planet of House Marik in the Free Rogues League, but Atreus is actually the capital planet. Which means they need their own council member. And it just so happens I found a council member. We now have added council member. Oh, Dios míos. I forgot to add him. But that's fine. I remember where he's at. Here's council member Maxwell Harrington. And you'll notice Maxwell Harrington is an avid walker. He works at the Bev Pop as a senior level employee on Augustine Lane. And his family owns a pet dog named Ranger. Now, it's currently nighttime, but the game's kind of goofy. When you first load in, it doesn't load the nighttime graphics yet. But as soon as I hit unpause, we're going to hit the nighttime graphics. So let's look at our funds. And this is... Actually, let's look at our happiness. Our happiness, we are doing pretty well. The only thing that we're lacking is unreliable healthcare, which we could build one more clinic perhaps, and high taxes. But other than that, everyone's happy, and the overall mood is happiness, which is good. But this is what's really hurting us. Our budget. Look at our budget. And this is what's killing us. Sure, 10,000 in subsidies. Why do we have some subsidies? Let's take a look. There's very little in subsidies. Convenience food. That's the reason why the food's always being, being used. So we're gonna make it into a 1. We're gonna make it positive. Entertainment will still keep at negative because we're only losing. We'll make it a little less because we kind of need the money, right? Recreational. You've had minus 10%, so we're still at 380. So we're gonna keep it like that for now. We need the recreation. Look at pharmaceuticals. Even at minus 10%, we're only at 250. So that's nothing. We're going to unpause it. Oh, before we move on, what is the goal for this episode? This episode, I foresee, is going to be mostly trying to balance our budgets. And if we have time, laying the groundwork for how it's starting to come in. But that's primarily, we're going to let the simulation run primarily. And we're going to be looking at our new, council member and see what this council member is all about. That being said, I do have a cinematic. I hope you enjoy it. If you don't like these cinematics, skip to about 1.5 minutes. But thank you. Please enjoy it.
In 2108, humanity began colonizing the stars. Their reach would eventually span a vast region of space known as the Inner Sphere. During its golden age, under the governance of the Star League, the Inner Sphere experienced unprecedented peace, prosperity, and technological advancement. But with a great rise comes a great fall. Beset by greed and mistrust, humanity splintered. The Star League crumbled. Technological advancement slowed. The great houses, each vying for supremacy, turned on one another, engaging in a series of conflicts.
Welcome back for the cinematic. Okay, we're going to unpause it. Oh, one last thing before we unpause. I discovered this is our buses that we recently used. And notice how there's some lines which are not being used at all. The Marik Commonwealth isn't being used, but it's just starting to grow. So hopefully that'll change. The Tamarind, that's the very small one. I'm not too concerned. Gibson's doing pretty well. This rim is doing pretty well. All the others are eh. And if you click on the bus, the Holy Order bus depot, you'll notice that we only have 25 out of 25 buses. We need more buses. So that's something that we have to keep in mind. And let's take a look at the taxi depot. We're 19 out of 20, so we're good for taxis. And look, and unlike City Skylines 1, City Skylines 2, evidently they use taxis, which is good. I kind of always disagreed with how City Skylines 1 handled taxis. I'm unpausing, and look, lack of labor. We may need to build a few additional places, and we do have demand for low density, so let's build in a few low density places and we'll make it North America low density. Let's unpause, and now it knows how it turns into night. See, this is the new farm that we just... Uh-oh. The ROM agent might have caught a cold. We're looking for Maxwell. Oh, Maxwell's already at his place of residence. Look at all these things leaving. This area, if you had enough money, you may need a taxi. Or not taxi, parking spot, depot. We're fast forwarding it. This milestone is helping us out. Whew. This gets us out of the hole, and we're able to have some money finally. Let's look at the progression. I don't think we need anything here. Electricity. We definitely don't need this. I was thinking maybe solar power, but we'll skip it for now. We don't need the water treatment. Death care and crematorium is not something. This is something I'm thinking we may need to proactively start thinking about. Right now, it's not an issue, but it's going to be. We'll worry about the universities later. We're going to unlock the Firewatch. Or, I'm sorry, the Firewatch Tower. Police isn't much of an issue. We have everything we need here. I would like to get both of these. So we're going to get large parks, sporting parks. We're going to get the post-sorting facility and rata points. Look how long it's taking this ambulance to get there. Poor Oliver Fox is probably, half dead. So I'm thinking we need a second medical facility. Oh, they're going to use this cul-de-sac that I put here. Turn around. Interesting. Oh look, Councilman Marik Robinson's moved. Next milestone, we'll definitely have to get something. We're going to put this near the forest area here. I don't know if it needs any type of road access. We'll find out, I guess. Needs power access. Okay, that's fine. We could definitely give it some power. We're gonna rename this. I think of a different name later, but let's take a look at the parks. Our city park, large plaza. And we're also going to look at, what was it? Look at all these trucks that aren't mine. I should be thankful. Parks. I think our university, actually I think the Rimworld commonality deserves some type of park. Right next to the elementary school. That's what we're missing. We're missing an elementary school over here. Which is fine. That's why we're going to create an audible and place one here. We are going to rename the elementary school. The theme of the elementary schools is their names of mercenary units in 3025. I'm going to name this the Black Hearts Elementary School. Black Hearts was a mercenary group that was part of the Star League, but did not leave with Alexander Kerensky, stayed with the Inner Sphere. And in 3025, they were still mercenaries, but they primarily worked for Steiner, but they were still a mercenary unit. So I'm naming it. Likewise, the Blackhearts was an organization I played with in MPBT 3025 on AOL. America Online had a gaming service, and one of the games that they had that you could play for free was multiplayer 3025. It's October 6th, or October 4 a.m. We're going to move on a little bit further. Maybe by October 12th we'll do something. Remember, this is City Skylines II, which is a simulation where they're trying to simulate building a city. And they also simulate the Earth. However, they don't do it exactly justice because, again, this is a game. A full rotation takes 24 hours. And a full rotation is also a month on the planet. So, if the sun's above you at 12 noon, 24 hours later it'll be above you again, it'll be a different month. As a result, we're using this as part of the lore of this planet. Remember, they colonize new planets, so that's the reason why every hour is considered a day on this strange game / planet map. Now, all the elementary schools except this one are operated per district. This one will be a catch-all district. So anyone who's not in a specific district can come here. I'm now going to be fast-forwarding the simulation so that way you can see more of the simulation in a faster amount of time. I hope you enjoy it. As you're making a few minor adjustments and, moving through the simulation, I noticed there's a huge traffic jam. So I'm going to update this intersection so that way it'll hopefully alleviate some of the traffic problems here. Because look at that traffic jam. And we're making that a roundabout in the middle there. This should fix some of the traffic jam. And it looks like it's clearing out, but the big problem is also this road. This is not designed to be a huge road, so we're going to update the road in the middle. And we're also putting a runabout, so that way less traffic is being used on that one specific road. But I'm still going to make it a larger road because it seems to be a primary road for citizens to get in the middle. Even though it's not connecting to the outside anymore. That should alleviate some of the congestion in that area, hopefully. At least that's the game plan, right? As I'm scanning the city, I noticed that the Gibson district, the Principality of Gibson, has a high crime rate. I'm going to fix that by adding a police zone that's dedicated just to Gibson because for whatever reason, Gibson is having a crime wave. and it has the most residential buildings. So I'm putting the police to only patrol the principality of Gibson area, which hopefully should dramatically reduce the crime rate in that area. At least I hope so. Thank you very much for staying with me, folks. And I know this episode is going to be a few days late. Holidays. In America, Thanksgiving just passed. And while, yes, I don't have family, I do have friends that I cook for. And my work is very busy until the 1st of January. So let's just recap a few things here. We're currently at Busy Town 7. We're almost to 8. Right, we're this one's going to be a big one. We'll be getting oil drilling, which is okay, but more importantly, high density housing. That's going to be very important. More importantly, the other thing we're going to be doing is we're going to start Steiner, the Lyran Commonwealth. But for right now, we're still doing Marik. And Marik, we're progressing very well. We have, let's see if there's a way how to... Districts. Is there any easy way to look at districts? I guess not. We have the Rimworld Commonality District. The Andurian District that I plan on being something over here, but not yet. Principality of Gibson. The Principality of Regulus I plan on having over here. The Marik Commonwealth. And the Duchy of Tamarind. And each district, I'm trying to give it its own flavor. While yes, they're all House Marik, but in Marik, every district or every area seems to be very different, right? The Rimworld Commonality is full of grids, but they all end in cul-de-sacs and runabouts. While the Principality of Gibson seems to be mostly, the traditional grid, long grids, in fact. While the Duchy of Tamarind is one large line with a few, extensions that both end in cul-de-sacs or runabouts. And then the Marik Commonwealth. Yes, grids, very few runabouts, but notice, very interesting walkways. These are pedestrian paths. And you'll notice that the pedestrian paths serve a very important purpose here in the the Marik Commonwealth. The other thing we've done is we added this bus depot. And we also gave it an extension, so that way it gave us more buses. We have 29 out of 35. But one thing I was thinking about, I haven't played this game in several days. Unfortunately, because of real life and stuff, it happens, right? Bus line tool. I wonder... So here's one of our bus areas, right? This is not in use. Can we make an outside zone? Yes, we can. Okay, so it's going to stop there. Okay. So we're going to create a bus route that goes from here, never been used, goes to this route over here. Goes all the way to this, comes back. It goes to this bus route over here. This would be the international liner, I guess. And then closes it off over here. And then we're gonna have this line go all the way over here, back away, back again. And we'll call that the second. Another thing that has happened is the Marik Commonwealth has gotten its own councilman, Maxwell Harrington, who's now going to school, evidently quit his job and occupation student. Good old Maxwell with his dog Ranger. And because of the new school, we've also developed since the school has its own football theater or stadium, they hired and got the famed football star Ryan Hooper, who currently works at the Janos Marik High School as a coach, PE teacher, and is in charge of the football curriculum here at Janos. Before you forget, we need parks. And since all citizens, Maxwell Harrington is an avid dog watcher, he wants a dog park near his house. And he lives at good old 102 Augustine Lane. Augustine's the name of one of the planets here within the Innersphere, which means this place is going to get a dog park. This area, I should say, is going to get a dog park. And since this right here is a student walkway, pedestrian walkway, we're going to put the dog park right there. We need a small parkway, not a big one. Dog park, here we go. And we're also going to need a small parkway. Parking stop. These are words that I need to remember how to say them sometimes. Yeah, we'll worry about the... Where is... See, this is what happens if we don't play it for a while. I forget where it's on the board. We're looking for a small park. No, parking. Beyond the roads. Parking spaces. Alright, we're going to run the simulation, and let's look what happens. Oh no, a tornado. Oh boy. And the tornado's coming to town. In fact, CNB, the ComStar News Bureau, has released a report on this tornado. Let's see the report. And before we do that, let's first look at our buses. Do we have enough buses? 34 out of 35, so that's perfect. And let's look at our bus lines real fast.
You're back with Second Moon Radio, your second from home.
Second News Radio. We are looking for buses real fast. Before we stop, buses. Make sure Alright, sorry about that. And we look at the tornado. The tornado is going to devastate the college area. Will it hit the high school area? The ComStar News Bureau is releasing a report, and yes, it's going to the high school. Oh no. And what about the famed football star Ryan Hooper? Still sitting and reading. And look at the tornado come to his predicament. What will the famed football star Ryan Hooper do? Let's look at this ComStar News report. The Innersphere Regional Map, Episode 005. ComStar News feed or report, November 2023 edition. Center article: Tornado hits high school. High school football gets delayed. Famed football star Ryan Hooper angrily cries, "Tornado!" Right article: the new zoned region, Marik Commonwealth, gets new council member. And yes, we've been talking about this new council member. Left article: Archibald Trejo is under investigation for accepting bribes and fraud. What the report doesn't say is his daughter has recently married, still keeps the Trejo name eventually, and is the one who reported her father to the police. Right now, the two are estranged. The daughter no longer likes her father and has removed herself from the father's lines, but the father is doing everything he can to try and get the daughter back into his life. And he's been, strangely, Archibald Trejo has been seen driving a bus, or riding public transportation, which questions the reasons. If he's accepting bribes, where's all the money if he's riding just a mere bus? Very strange indeed. Maybe this, what we're going to do is we're going to follow the tornado and see how the tornado affects the city. First time I've seen a major tornado hit our city in City Skylines II. Let's see what this does to the city. The football game has been called off for this season, or for this quote-unquote season, and here comes the tornado. What will the citizens do? Looks like Ryan Hooper is protected. Oh boy. Sitting down is evidently protection against the tornado in City Skylines 2. Remember that, folks. Remember that. That's how you get protected from a tornado. Just sit down on a regular, bench on the outside and you'll be safe from the tornado. We're going to fast forward the game a little bit, and let's see, the tornado hits the ComStar news agency radio mast and mysteriously goes away. It destroys a few buildings, but nothing of consequence. These are zoned buildings that don't cost us money, so I just bulldoze them and replace them. Major car accident of 2 whole vehicles, and one of the vehicles seemed to be very fine, went back to the school. Oh well, so much for the tornado, huh? Councilman Archibald Trejo has been under investigation for accepting bribes and doing illicit stuff with money, but yet he's been seen riding public transportation. If he's so-called, quote-unquote, rich beyond his means, why is Archibald Trejo riding the bus? Shouldn't he be in a fancy car at least, or a car at the very least? This has puzzled investigators to no end. At one end, there shows evidence of Archibald Trejo accepting bribes, but his lifestyle doesn't seem to reflect that. Sure, he's bought a fancy new house twice in a year, but he claims that it was personal wealth and fortune that got him those houses. And the housing market at the time was fluctuating. And now we see Archibald Trejo going to work. Doing a hard-earned money at the Peace and Planks Incorporation. Cindy Shelby, Archibald Trejo daughter, is no longer has his last name. Interesting. Alright, the tornado threat seems to have gone. And it didn't seem to do very much. It destroyed a few buildings that, was no consequence. Let's check out our water. Electricity seems to be good. Retreating electricity. Traffic seems to be a small issue, but do we have any backups yet? Nothing to speak of. This area needs some leisure, so we're going to give it a park. Let's give it one of these skate parks. You'll notice that trash is still not being picked up and no one seems to care about it. I won't care about it either until someone starts crying. Here we're following Councilmember Marik Robinson. Marik Robinson evidently was called away on several important businesses out of the city, and this council member has to use the public transportation that is going out of the city to conduct official Marik business, and eventually comes back. So again, these citizens are doing jobs now, and now that we have places outside the city, sometimes they go outside the city. Especially council members have very important duties to the public. If I understand this correctly, Cindy Trejo married and became Cindy Shelby. It's that time of the video where I say adios. Thank you for watching. And if you're hearing this, I really like to say thank you for staying at least this long or to the end. I really appreciate it. But if that's the YouTube guide to enjoy, please like, subscribe, click on the bell icon to notifications. It really does help content creators like myself. I need your help. If you have any suggestions about my YouTube content or my channel, or about this video, I would love to hear it. Please leave a comment. Regardless, I'd like to thank you for watching. Stay safe, be entertained, enjoy life, and until next time, adios, goodbye. Hope your RNG is better than mine. Thank you.
All hands, initiate shutdown sequence.